Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we'll talk about today's U.S. Supreme Court hearing on same-sex marriage. Also tonight, learn about efforts to help businesses that make products out of waste. And we'll show you an aerial effort to save the White Tank Mountains. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Eight, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. The United States Supreme Court today heard arguments on a case that could determine if same-sex marriage is a constitutional right. Joining us now to analyze what happened today is ASU law professor Paul Bender. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Ted.
So what did the Supreme Court hear today?
They heard actually 4 cases from states that still ban gay marriage. And most lower courts, federal lower courts, had held that bans on gay marriage are unconstitutional, including the Ninth Circuit. That's why there's gay marriage in Arizona now. But some states, Kentucky and states of Tennessee around them in that part of the country, the Court of Appeals there is the only federal court of appeals to hold that bans on gay marriage are constitutional. And so there was a conflict in the circuits, and the court took the case.
Now, the court took the case, and yet it didn't allow those bans to continue until they took the case. That would be quite a jujitsu there if they wound up saying these things can't stand.
Well, what they did is they didn't take the cert from the Ninth Circuit and all the other circuits that held that bans on gay marriage are unconstitutional.
Right.
So they let gay marriage go into effect in all those states, and then they take this case. So it does seem as though it's very hard for them to think about saying that the bans are okay, because what do you do with the people in those states who got married and they let them get married because they didn't take the case? Everybody thought when they didn't take that case that they wouldn't take any of them. But when one court of appeals holds that the bans are okay, they sort of have to do it because there's a conflict in the circuits. So that's what they were talking about today.
Okay, what were they talking? Talk about some of the questions we heard. Maybe some of the questions were sharper than expected. Did you think they were sharper than expected?
No, I didn't see very much. I didn't see anything surprising in the argument. Everybody knows how 8 of the justices are going to vote. The 4 sort of liberals are going to vote to hold that bans on gay marriage are unconstitutional. And Scalia and Thomas and Alito and probably Roberts, most certainly Roberts, I think after watching the argument today, are going to hold that it's constitutional to ban gay marriage. And so as usual, it's up to Justice Kennedy. And so everybody's looking today to see what signals they could get from Kennedy. When the argument started, it sounded as though he was maybe thinking of holding that the bans are okay. But by the end of the argument, I think most people thought that he had come around. And I think the person who argued for the state in that case, I think sort of hurt himself by talking about the thing that Kennedy seems to care most about, and that is the effect of bans on gay marriage on children. Children who have been adopted by gay couples, and the gay couples want to move to a state that bans gay marriage, and they want to both be parents, and they want to have all the rights of parents, that both of them are parents. So if one of them dies, the other one has custody of the kid. And Kennedy really cares about that. And that played a big part in that part of the argument. And Kennedy is just saying, well, how about all those kids? We got to do something about that. You can't let the kids. Somebody gave you an example of a couple who live in California, married in California. One of them's in the Army. He's just reassigned to Tennessee. They have children. They have to move to Tennessee. So the marriage is destroyed when they move to Tennessee, unless Tennessee has to recognize the California marriage. Now that I should have said that originally. There are really two issues before the court. One is the states have to permit gay marriage. If they do, the second case has no relevance. But if the court should hold, as I don't think it will, but if it should hold that states can ban gay marriage, then they have to consider what does a state that bans gay marriage do about people who are married in a state that has gay marriage and who move into the state, like this couple from California who come in to be in the military. And as that case was being argued, that was the second one that was being argued, it seemed to me that just pointed out how you have to decide the first case to say that you can't ban gay marriage, because it seems just impractical to have a country where you have half the states with gay marriage and half the states without. So people can't move around unless they have to respect the marriage. And if they have to respect the marriage from other states, then it becomes impossible, I think, to maintain a ban on gay marriage in a state. When people can go to another state, get married, and come back, or people move into a state, like Arizona has a lot of people who move in. So if all those people have to be treated as married, then I think you have to say you can't ban gay marriage at all.
But would that be a compromise of sorts?
It would be a compromise, but it would be a mess. Because what do you do? What do you do with these people? A couple moved, say this couple who moved to Tennessee, if they don't have to recognize the California marriage, then those people who've been married with children for several years, all of a sudden that family is destroyed when they go to Tennessee, and they don't have all the rights they have. For example, suppose one of them dies. In Tennessee, only one of them could adopt the children. So if that one dies, the other one has no rights to the children. That kind of thing is and they've been filing, and they can file a federal joint tax return because the federal government treats them as married if they're married, and if they were married in a state that permits it. So the state's going to say, well, take Arizona. Your income for Arizona is your gross income on the adjusted gross income on your federal return. So if you're a married couple and you're doing that someplace else, and then you come here, you have to file separately here, even though in Arizona, even though you're entitled to file a joint return is your state return. How is Arizona going to get the people's income from the federal return? Because the federal return is a joint return that Arizona won't recognize.
But again, as far as the compromise is concerned, would it, and I don't know how broad or how narrow a ruling like this would be, but the idea is, okay, states can do what they want to do, you still have to recognize. I mean, it seems illogical, but that would...
Hard to believe. And once you say they have to recognize gay marriages in other states, it's very hard to maintain that they can say the citizens in their state who never went to another state, they can't get married. So I thought the second argument really made stronger the argument in the first case that the bans on gay marriage are unconstitutional. It's an interesting constitutional issue which has never been decided, and it'll be interesting to see what theory the court uses. Will they say that sexual orientation is a suspect classification? That would mean that a whole lot of laws that might bear on gay people would be unconstitutional. Or will they say that a ban on gay marriage is irrational? There may be other things about that you can do for gays, but a ban on gay marriage doesn't pass the rationality test, which is the lowest level. That's hard to say because you have so many states in which the people voted to ban gay marriage.
Okay, so we should get a ruling this summer.
Will you get a ruling by the end of June?
Okay. Before you go, we only got a couple minutes left. There was a lethal injection case out of Oklahoma at the court list, and an Arizona attorney apparently argued this case. This deals with death penalty and these drugs, this drug that apparently isn't working so well.
Right. The drug that the states, and I think every state was using lethal injection, that the states have been using, the manufacturers of the drug, and there are two of them, refuse to make it anymore. So you can't get it. So you have to find something else. And the states have settled on something that there is some evidence does not completely render the person unconscious when they start stopping his heart and stopping his breathing. And that could be very, very painful. Nobody, of course, knows, because when the people are dead, you can't ask them how bad it was. And so the court has to decide whether that's cruel and unusual punishment. They said lethal injections were okay a few years ago, but now the claim is being made, hey, you can't be sure that this is not cruel and unusual punishment. And if you can't be sure it's not cruel and unusual punishment, you have to stop it. The states have to come up with a system that you know, unless it's some horrible accident, is going to be not cruel and unusual.
Well, we talk about broad and narrow rulings. What do you see on this one? Because this one go haywire, go in directions no one anticipates?
Well, it depends on which way they hold. If they were to hold that this drug combination is unconstitutional, that would make it very difficult for states to carry out the death penalty anywhere, because they can't get the drugs that they're sure are okay. I don't think that would get most states that still have the death penalty to repeal that, but it would have a big impact. Whereas if they rule that this is okay, then things just continue the way they are. And the way they are is very disturbing, because we had one in Arizona. Somebody really seemed to be suffering. And I think the court in general would not be willing to say you can make people suffer like that.
So you think the court would basically go against the...
If I have to guess, I would guess that they would say these executions are okay. And the main reason I say that is that one of the main reasons is they permitted somebody to be executed with this material. They didn't stay his execution, and then a week later they took these cases.
Interesting.
Okay, so if they're going to let somebody be executed under the same drug that they're now considering whether it's cruel and unusual, I think it's hard for them to say that it's cruel and unusual because they just permitted something that was unconstitutional.
Like we talked about with gay marriage, you go down one avenue, it's kind of hard to turn around and come back.
It's very similar to
Yes.
the gay marriage case in that way.
Paul, great stuff. Always good to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Nice to be here, Ted.
Focus on Arizona sustainability looks at a recent plan put forth by Phoenix Public Works Department to create and develop a resource innovation campus at a city-owned vacant lot. The campus will be used to help develop and grow waste-to-new product industries. Here to explain all this is Phoenix Public Works Director John Trujillo and Community and Economic Development Director Christine Mackey. Good to see you both here. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you.
us.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Resource Innovation Campus. What exactly are we talking about?
Well, it's basically finding a way that we can turn trash into resources. So in order to do that, we got to bring in new businesses that are interested in utilizing our trash as an input to their process, whether it's manufacturing, furniture, different products, so to speak, is what we're looking for.
So, and when we say waste to new, definition of that?
So we're looking for companies who are going to take a product that we normally would have sent out to a landfill and turning it into something new that can be sold as a commodity or used as a product and giving it a new life.
And this new campus now will have a transfer station that pretty much turns X into Y?
It is. Who would have thought I'd be selling trash?
Well, you are selling trash. I guess the idea is to avoid sending all this stuff to the landfill.
And that's true, and that is what we're trying to do. We send 1 million tons of trash to the landfill. And to do that, we transport over 7 million miles every year doing it, and that's going to the moon and back 14 times. So it's a lot of trash that we collect in the city of Phoenix.
And as far as fuel, energy, miles, cost, do we know what this could save?
Right now, we looked at 40% diversion, and we're looking at anywhere from $4 to $8 million that we're looking at that we could possibly save by turning some of this trash into a resource.
Now, this is a campus, again, the location is a city-owned vacant lot. Where what part of town?
It's in Southwest Phoenix on 27th Avenue. So it's a former city facility that's been made available for new companies to move into.
And the idea is for a resource cluster of these kinds of businesses? Talk about
It
that.
is. It's looking for companies who have innovative ideas to create a new commodity, to make a new product, as we talked about, and take it forward for sale. So it's companies who have ideas, who need a proof of concept, and they need a material to be able to take forward and actually turn it into a marketable manufacturing, job-producing company.
Are there models out there for taking waste products, sending them to the transfer station, and either making mulch out of them or making furniture or what have you out of them?
Well, mulch for sure.
Yes.
You know, that's a pretty common thing that happens, but other products it's quite a rarity. Most people just send it on to landfills. Most cities send it on to landfills and don't reprocess that. I think that's what makes this so unique, is looking for that innovation campus, how this could work.
And How did this plan get started? Again, I always look at models, and did you look at other areas? Were there other ideas floating around out there?
There was one other idea, and myself and one other colleague, we traveled to Edmonton, Canada, to look at a site up there and what they're doing. It's similar to what we're trying to do, but it's more where this is more of a public-private partnership, and up there in Edmonton, it's more of a city-run process, and they build the facilities and do it themselves.
Was there a spark that got this public partnership, public-private partnership, I should say? Was there a spark that got this whole thing going?
You know, I think as we talked between economic development and public works and talked about how this could create jobs for Phoenix, how this could take our trash and actually turn it into something that will employ our citizens and maybe drive that next new technology or company, our teams really work together to create the concept, and I think that's where the spark came from.
If you have a campus of these kinds of businesses as well, you have economic development out there, would you not?
You do.
And that area needs some economic development, I would imagine.
It does, you know, and I think if you look at all of Phoenix and the entire metro area, the more innovative jobs we can create, they're higher wage jobs, and they really do draw attention nationally to the community.
I know when you talked about how much money this would save, you had a 40% diversion rate. That's the goal. Right now, we're not at Phoenix is not at a 40% diversion. As a matter of fact, Phoenix's diversion rate is below the United States average. What's going on there?
Well, we're working hard. When we first started this process, it was at 16%, but we're at 20% now, where our goal is 40%. And a lot of it is just trying to change behavior and to get residents to understand the importance of what they throw away, and trying to figure out other ways of dealing with it other than just throwing it and then we transferring it to the landfill.
Some misperceptions out there. What are people doing that you'd like to see changed?
Well, I'd like to see them to recycle more. Our waste study has shown that still 15% of what they throw in the garbage is recyclable material. And that alone could create an additional revenue of $4.5 million.
Wow.
That's what they throw away. That's additional revenue that we can achieve.
And I would imagine the cost of having to separate the stuff that shouldn't be in this barrel and should be in that barrel, that's pretty substantial too, I would imagine.
Well, it is. The contamination rate in the Phoenix is about 21% is what we found, and that's equal to over $1 million in excess fees that we are charged because of people not throwing the right things in the right barrel.
Yeah. As far as, again, economic development, I was reading that this would move, the idea was to move from a linear to a more circular economic model. Explain that.
Absolutely. So today, if you take a raw material and you turn it into a finished good, and the consumer uses that finished good, then it goes to a landfill. It's a very linear economy. The product has a beginning life and an end life. In a circular economy, you're taking that raw material, you're turning it into a finished good, you're selling it to a consumer, but then the consumer is able to recycle it back into another product, and a company can take it, turn it into something else that perhaps it wasn't even before, and put it back into the economy again, creating a circular economy.
Are there companies out there right now eyeing this, saying, you know, I could use waste and build X, Y, and Z? Or is this the kind of thing where you build the campus, you get the transfer station and all that kind of business up and going, and then businesses will follow?
We've been really fortunate in that matter. So we did a request for proposal, and we've had 18 great responses to the request for proposal already. So we haven't started building. We put out to the community internationally and said, what would you do with this? So we have 18 RFPs that are being reviewed now, and we hope to take them to City Council by July 1st. But I think what was even more exciting was we also did a call for innovators. So we sent out to the industry and said, what would you do with this? And we received 118 responses.
Interesting.
And we're working through those now, and from that information, we'll go back out for another RFP and hope to come up with even more.
And we've talked about how much this could save the city of Phoenix. How much is this going to cost to get up and operational?
That we don't know yet. So the goal of everything what we're trying to do is get those businesses, scholars, entrepreneurs, and experts, and even municipal leaders working together to turn that trash into treasures. And once we go through the process, as Chris mentioned, then we'll see what they have to offer. And based on that, we might have to offer, as an example, we're going to be offering land and the infrastructure needed for these businesses to come on board and for them to work through the process. We've also are lining up capital that businesses could possibly have access to that we're working through as well. So if they need capital for their process, there might be some available too.
All right. Well, it sounds very encouraging, very interesting as well. Good to have you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
White Tank Mountains in the West Valley are home to a variety of wildlife and natural resources, but ongoing development is threatening the mountains, and one group is working to ensure the conservation of the natural and cultural resources for wildlife and the general public. Producer Eleni Dow and photographer Kyle Mounts take us to the White Tank Mountains.
The White Tank Mountains have been a really special place for me and for my family, being here a place that we can recreate, a place where we can come, we can park our vehicles, and we can go for a hike. We can go to the amazing waterfall, which flows when it rains. There's always water there. The White Tank Mountains are a really incredible natural resource that essentially connect from Interstate 10 in Buckeye all the way to Bell Road in Surprise and in Buckeye. So it's a tremendously long, incredibly diverse landscape that has really incredible natural resources.
The Conservancy is established to the main function will be to preserve the habitat and the environment here in the White Tanks. It's important to preserve a mountain because it is a habitat of a lot of the animals and flora and fauna that you don't want to see become extinct. And as development encroaches and expands, it can limit the access for the people who live here.
The biggest threat to the White Tank Mountains is the urban development right around it. And in the future, if we look at the growth patterns for the city of Surprise and the city of Buckeye, it's likely that the White Tank Mountains will be completely surrounded by urban development 30 or 40 years from now. And if you have development occurring at any grand scale there, you could have the degradation of the landscape and increased habitat fragmentation, which could cause more challenges for these wildlife.
What we want to do is coordinate all of the organizations that are supporting this mountain in different ways and coordinate all of the efforts through the Conservancy.
We're reaching out to cities and towns all throughout the region, and we're reaching out to other organizations for them to partner and to work with us. All the West Valley communities have come forward and said, we really want to help with this.
The Conservancy will be funded by patrons, various corporations, foundations. The surrounding cities will contribute toward it. And the biggest contribution, I think, will be the volunteers. There'll be touring guides, they'll be here for the people who come to visit, and kind of enrich their visit to this mountain by having people here who know the plants, know the animals, and can speak to it. And especially when you get to petroglyphs in here, that's a real key thing here.
There has been just tremendous excitement and enthusiasm from all of the communities around the White Tanks, because they recognize that it's an amenity, it's a resource, and it's something that needs to be preserved. The White Tank Mountains Conservancy serves the public by providing them a way to access solutions.
It gives them confidence that there's an organization here to help protect what they've enjoyed and be confident that it will continue to be here.
The end goal for the Conservancy is to have a long-term presence in the West Valley, and I think it's important to protect the White Tank Mountains. And I think the White Tank Mountains Conservancy is the solution to help solve these problems and to move us forward to having a sustainable and enduring West Valley.
One of the factors that we really want to do with this is make this White Tank Mountain an icon for the West Valley, because it'd be great to have an identity, and I can't think of anything better than having the White Tanks as that icon.
Aerial footage was made possible by Lighthawk, a nonprofit group that promotes conservation through the perspective of flight. For more information about the White Tank Mountains Conservancy, visit WTMconservancy.org.
We want to hear from you. Submit your questions, comments, and concerns via email at arizonahorizon@asu.edu.
On Arizona Horizon, we'll look at why Arizona's water supplies are in better shape than California's, and we'll hear about a new initiative to help local businesses. That's on the next Arizona Horizon. That is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of 8, members of your Arizona PBS station. Thank you.
The Global Institute of Sustainability is the heart of ASU's sustainability initiatives, advancing research, education, and business practices for an urbanizing world. Learn more about ASU sustainability at sustainability.asu.edu/TV.